Hello board gamers of the world, this is Pedro Kerouac. Welcome to the Curious Box. Here we are today with a video about the most anticipated Portuguese games from the Essen Spiel 2024. It's a few days to go before the Spiel, and I thought it would be very interesting to show you some different games, some games that you might not be expecting, some games that you are for sure expecting, and this is my preview of 5 or 6 and plus 1 games, Portuguese games that will be opening at the Essen Spiel. To show you the games, nothing better than the authors, than the designers, to talk a little bit about them. The first one that I want to talk about is Floresta by Mibo Games and designer Nuno Santos. It's a game about the preservation of species and fighting this nightmare, which is the fires in forests. The game is Floresta.
Hi, my name is Nuno Santos and I am one of the designers of Floresta. This new competitive board game creates a new challenge to all kind of board gamers, with the players having to manage the difficult forests in Portugal, planting new trees while fighting the wildfires and saving the aberrant lynx. Check the great components and fun gameplay at Mibo Games booth in Hall 5 at Essen Spiel. See you there!
Floresta is not an heavy game by any means. It's like a family plus game with many different things, 4 different boards. I mean, a main board, but 4 different places where to put your pieces and where to activate bonuses and where to do things. It's a very interesting game. And the second one is Stephens by designers Rolly Costa and publisher Pythagoras Games. This is a game about the rebuild of the nation, rebuild of Portugal after the big earthquake of 1755. And this guy named Stephens, who revolutionized the industry of glass. We have co-designer Costa to tell you a little bit about the game.
Hi guys, my name is Costa. I'm one of the designers of Stephens. This is our latest design from me and Rola. Going to be available at Essen this year in a few days. And we are very proud of this one. Great illustration by Lucas Sigmund. The game is released by Palop Games, also picked up by Capstone for the US and the Game Builders to Germany, and also Maldito Games to Spain at this point. What is Stephens all about? Stephens is a labor of love. We have been working with this game for about 6 or 7 years now, and finally we closed it. It's a game about Stephens. Stephens was a glassmaker, and he was an entrepreneur, a visionary, a guy that developed the city of Maria Grande, where the factory was located. And the game is not so much about glassmaking industry, but about how this guy affected the region and how the region evolved along with him. So glassmaking is obviously present in the game, but it's more like a tribute to William Stephens, which was a guy that did amazing stuff. You can read it all about in the historical booklet that is included in the game. The game basically is a very classic era, old school. It is a worker placement / action selection game. You only have 2 actions on the game to take, only 2 types of actions per se. You either use one of your workers, which is a disc on your player board, and you use that worker to assign to a profession. So you take off a disc from your board and assign it to a card that has a profession, either being a master or an apprentice of that profession. That's one action, and the other action is to remove a cube from one factory. Basically, you are taking onto you some glass or some other stuff that you can use later. So you either take a disc, or that will trigger an ability, a rule breaker, a scoring opportunity for the end of the game, or you take a cube from a factory that we'll use later to fulfill contracts. And that's it. The turns are very fast, very snappy. Really, no time for downtime or for analysis paralysis. The turns are really fast, and there's a lot of interactive play between players. So whenever you do something, basically other players are always affected and also in play with most of your turns. So I hope you enjoy Stephens. I really am in love with this game. I hope you also will be. Bye.
Number 3 is Cube Express by Spiel Fable and designer Orlando Sa, who already brought us games like Pessoa or Porto. Cube Express explores the 19th century and the railway revolution. So we'll be magnates, we'll be developing the railways across America. So to talk about Cube Express, here is Orlando Sa.
So let's talk about Cube Express. Cube Express is a 2 to 4 player train game that features resource management, pickup and delivery, recipe fulfillment in the shape of contracts that you have to deliver. Resource management is a game where players are building a common network of train tracks. They are also expanding cities. These cities will be connected to stations that the players can build. Building stations is one of the main ways of getting points. Players will also pick up resources from other players' facilities, which will also increase the other players' share value. One of the ways that the game can end is if one player reaches its maximum share value. Another way that the game can end is if a player has built all his stations. And during the game, the players will expand this common network by building stations, collecting resources, delivering resources to factories in order to bump their share value, or to transport passengers and drop it in their own stations and other players' stations. The economy is very interconnected with the positive interactions where if you get something from somebody else, that person also is going to get the benefit. And it is essentially back to the basics game that features cubes as a universal token, let's say. Cubes can be passengers, cubes can be money, cubes can be resources, cubes can be ownership markers, several different things depending on where they are on the player boards or on the game board. It's a very interactive game. It's a game where you have to interact with the other players, otherwise you won't be able to do anything on the game. And it will be released also in Essen, and I hope you guys have the chance to play the game. Thank you.
What most attracts me in Cube Express is that cubes are not only resources, they are also the currency of the game. And they are also the people that go on the trains. So I love when an element of a game is just more than an element of the game, and it's also the currency of the game, and it can be very different things. The game looks spectacular on the table, so check it out. One of the most weighted games of the fair is for sure Asian Tigers by designers Nuno Bizarro Cintiero and Paulo Soledad, the designers behind classics like Nippon, Madeira or Panamax. Asian Tigers is their return to the medium to heavy games, and it focuses on four countries in East Asia which are fighting for power, for development, for being the most rich and the most powerful in a country in Asia. For that, we'll use workers, and this worker placement mechanic and the management that we need to do with the workers is the secret of the game. Here's Paulo Soldado.
Hello everyone, my name is Paulo Soldado. I'm here to talk about my new game. This is mine and Nuno's new game. This is our new release. It's been a while since we don't publish any games, so we hope very much that you enjoy it. This is a game about the Asian tigers. The Asian tigers are the four countries that are Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, and South Korea, and they had a huge economical development during the 1960s, and the game portraits a little bit about that. It is a game where you are an investor, so you take your infrastructure, so players have a mat in front of them, of course, so you build your stuff in the Asian tigers, you produce resources, try to sell them to the global markets, and in this way achieve the most victory points, which are disputed on the board with the other players because there's an area majority concept within each one of the tigers. But there are also personal goals that you can choose to go for. You know, it's not generic goals. You choose your own goals, the ones you want to succeed the most. How do you accomplish this? Playing on the board, of course, and selling to the global market. Okay? So this is a very, very simple game to learn how to play. It is played in under 2 hours from 1 to 4 players. We have a solo version, solo mode, that was designed by Andre Por, aka Andre Por, and it's a very good solo mode. So played under 2 hours. And the most important part for us is that you can actually replay the game over and over because it's very, very, very easy to remember the rules from the first time, as the main mechanic is very, very, very simple to learn and understand. Okay? Difficult to master, but easy to understand. So look for us. We'll be in Essen this year, Hall 5 at the Pythagoras booth, Hall 5 E221. Look for us there, if not before, because you can also already pre-order the game at the Pythagoras website. And we'll, talk a little bit about the game, about other stuff, okay? Hope you enjoy it, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
And last but not least, we have Speak Easy by Vital Lacerda. It's, of course, a new heavy game by the master of heavy games. I'm not sure this game is coming out right now because it says 2025 on BGG, but either way, I thought I should talk a little bit about it. It's a game about the Prohibition era during the 1920s in the United States, and we are mobs, we are Lucky Luciano, trying to manage the different areas of the city. We are hiring different mobsters to work for us, and then we are, of course, committing crimes, and we are threatening, and we are buying and selling stuff. It's a worker placement. We are mostly trying to manage the best of our territory, and of course get more and more power and more money. When you say Vital Lacerda, of course, you know the game is going to be quite heavy. Generally, they are quite heavy and long, but of course, you will be interesting, probably as interested as I am. I thought it would be also interesting to talk about some promos and some solo modes of games that Pythagoras is launching by newcomer designer Pedro André Correia. Pedro André Correia is specialized in solo modes. He has done so many and published them on Board Game Geek. And finally, Pythagoras invested in his work, in his effort to create the solo game for classics like Fado, like Doro, and now the new one, Stephens, and so many other games. So check out what he has to say about these solo modes that he is presenting at the Spiel.
Hello, my name is Pedro. I'm the designer of the solo modes of several games that will be available at Essen. And I'll start with these two, which is our two big launches this year. Asian Tigers will have a solo mode in the box, a game from Paulo and Nuno. I'll also have my solo mode in Stephens from Rola and Costa. I have some few surprises here. We'll have available at Essen some promo cards that will go along with the games. So we'll have Lusitania with a new solo mode and some cards to play a campaign. We'll also have a new solo mode for Fado and some cards to play the campaign mode. Lunaris from Pile Up will also have some new cards to play the new solo mode that will be available, and some scenarios and the campaign. Gods of Rome will also have a new solo mode, not the one in the box, but a new one to play that will go along with these promo cards that you can play a campaign mode also. Another one that will be available will be Muestero. You'll need the promo cards to play the new solo mode because it has an automata here, and you can play some scenarios for multiplayer and a campaign mode. Also, and this will be available really soon in the website from Pythagoras, you have a print and play solo mode that you can download for Palmela. We'll also have for Doro 1872, and also in print and play mode, solo mode for Garum. This will all be available at the time of Essen. If you want to meet me in person, I'll be at Hall 5 in the booth for Pythagoras and Pileup.
I am very curious to find out about these solo modes because I'm not such a solo mode fan. I don't play many games solo, but I've known these games for most of these games for many years or for some years, and I'm very curious to see how they play and how Pedro managed to balance these games to make them a one-player game, and some of them I really can't imagine how he's done it. So it will be very interesting to know. So if you are curious about some of these games and you'll be at the Essen Spiel, let me know down at the commentary box what you think, and please also share your thoughts about other games that you'll be interested on, and which one will be the first games that you will be checking out at the Essen Spiel 2024. Once again, I'm Pedro Kerak. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel to help us grow and to help grow the hobby. I will be seeing you, hopefully, at a table close to you. And you are probably maybe asking yourself, why am I doing a video outside? Well, because I want to give this little piece of news to you, which is like an Easter egg on this video. I'm also launching my one of my first games, a one-player game, a print-and-play game called The Ascensor of Braga. So here we are in Bom Jesus, or close to Bom Jesus, where the oldest elevator moved by water in the world is located. It was built as an alternative to the horse's trail that was used to be used to carry people and goods up the hill, up to the sanctuary of Bom Jesus, and this was in the late 19th century. So I thought it would be nice, it would be funny to make a game about this. So in this game you will be the controller the Pika, who is the controller of the people who are going to the elevator, who are entering the elevator. Of course, this is now a touristic place, a very touristic place, and you are bringing people inside the ascensor so they can get up the hill, and so you want to get more and more tourists. But you also need to care about the quality of the trip. So if you have too many tourists, probably they won't be able to take the best pictures, and they will be a burden to each other. And so if the quality is not good, you will lose points. For this game, you only need a piece of paper, the board, and the die and the pen to check out your results. It's a quick game, and I just wanted you to know about it. The Ascensor of Bom Jesus, and many more news, and more news will be coming up for sure in the future. I hope you have a great time at the Essen Spiel with the Portuguese and with the Portuguese people and the Portuguese games. I hope you found this video interesting. Let me know, and if you see me at the Spiel somewhere, I am Pedro Caroac. I'll be ready for a game or for a great chat.